Okay, so as you can see, it's apparent I am not out in the garage in my train room. It is frightfully hot and stuffy out there, so I decided to come inside, and we're going to do bridges today. So I'm gluing the bridges, I'm not putting them on. Plus the fact that with all the modules and stuff on my table, it's full. There's no place for me to work. So this is where I'm at. We're going to do bridges. I'm going to start with bridge 1. You can see I've got it tentatively put together. And I think that's, a cool little addition there. It'll be fun to put stuff on the sides and stuff. But we'll go ahead and take it apart here. Real difficult. And we'll get started on gluing this. And it's not going to take a lot by any means. And of course, once the glue has time to set up a little bit, I will come back and weld it. Pull these back just a tad. And then we'll get it all set up to dry properly. Obviously, once it's dried, I did notice that I'm going to have to fit each of the bridges to the slots, which means I'm going to have to sand a little bit to get them to fit in the place where they're supposed to be. One of the things that I did, and if my camera operator will come in here, you see the numbers inside here? The numbers on everything? I've put the numbers inside the bridge. You can see the BR1 there, the BR12 here, and there's a BR12 over here. I put those on the inside on purpose. If you think about it, why have to deal with covering those numbers and letters and all that kind of stuff when I can just put them on the inside of the track. Once the track is there, everything is good to go. So I'm getting a funny look.
You didn't glue this side.
Yes, I did. I did glue it.
Did you?
Yeah, I did glue it.
Oh, sorry.
My camera operator was making sure that I didn't make a boo-boo and not glue one side.
Quality control.
That's right, quality control. And so we'll take this off here. For bridge 2, obviously just as easy. And apparently that's what she was trying to tell me before when she was pointing at the glue bottle, and I thought she just wanted it out of the picture. So I picked it up and moved it further back, and that's not what it was. She was trying to tell me that I'd almost made a boo-boo.
Glue-boo.
A glue-boo, that's right. So, and again, we got the numbers and everything on the inside here. Make sure that's straight. Put that in. And then this side. Both ends there. And then just double checking to make sure I've got both ends straight, or flat, flush. So that'll be good there. All right, that's 1 and 2. Bridge 3 is this guy, and I have had some really interesting discussions with Uncle Al and Party about the bridges, and these bridges and how they work. Gotten a really good education on what the train of thought was, and that helps a lot to get these things together and working and everything else. So I believe I now understand how all of this goes together. And of course, I guess we'll know for sure if I understand it or not when I go to put it on the track. So get that one started right there. It'll be really nice to have the bridges in place, finally. Some of my track looks a little silly hanging out in midair. So it'll be helpful to have the bridge support and everything under it. this side. And some glue on this edge. About time to fill up my bottle again. This will be the third time I've had to fill the bottle. This end is good and tight. Okay. I was just telling my wife a few minutes ago that I had gone out there to start putting some of the bridge supports in place and realized that all of my pins are right here and all the different bridge sections here. So I didn't get to do much of that. I think I had 2 out there. All right, so that's straight and flat there. Really interesting the way all this is going to go together. So we'll put 3 right there. We'll come over here and get started on 4. Well, I guess I did make a mistake on that one, didn't I? I got this one going the wrong way. We'll bend it back this way a little bit, because I still want to have the lettering and stuff on the inside. It's just less of a hassle to cover that up. And you may notice I'm actually a little high. If you look right down here, you'll see I've come in a little high on the side girder there with the pin, and then going down into the top. I find that these pieces, because they're a little smaller and a little thinner, that it helps to hold everything in tighter rather than coming in straight, doing it at more of an angle. And that seems to be doing a really good job of holding everything in place. All right. So come right here and pull these out. All right, so as I say, I'm getting all the numbers on the inside. It's kind of nice to be working with a material like this foam board that allows for little mistakes and little oopsies, and gives us the time and opportunity to fix that. And we all will encounter things like that in the whole operation of getting all of this set up and getting it working. I will say, guys, I'm really happy about the fact that I've got train track in place and started running one of my trains around the track, looking for spots where I didn't have the track just quite right. And so we found some of those. Obviously the easy track, it lives up to its name. It's real easy to work with. So we've got that going. All right, so that's bridge number 4. Now, bridge number 5, I have the full kit with the extensions. So bridge number 5 doesn't reach across the chasm up to the mine. So it's a little short. And so they're working on that now, so we're not going to be doing Bridge 5 at this time. We're going to be moving on to another area. Now, one of the problems that I had was figuring out these pieces up here, and you see I've put them in. I put 2 up at the top and then separated by the 2. The drawings have all 5 of them here together, but I've got enough clearance here with my trains. I can actually have that further apart. So I don't know which is better or worse. I don't think there is a better or worse. Nonetheless, that's what we're going to deal with as we start to glue this together. The other challenge I had was I had an extra piece, BR62, that I didn't know where it went. I could not for the life of me figure it out. So of course I picked up the phone and called 1-800 Uncle Al and talked to him about it. He said, yep, everybody's having that same challenge. What it is this, of course, Bridge 6 spans across the waterway on the E module, and it's a pretty decent span. There is some flexibility in here, not a lot, leaving less with everything hooked up. But what they did was they said, okay, let's put some extra support in there. So this is extra support. It goes underneath the bridge, and we're going to get this started here. Like this. I could do a little bit more here. And when we get done and get this out, back out to the garage to dry, I'll put some extra weight on there. Try to get that even and in the middle. And hold that down for a minute. We'll move it around a little bit so it'll seal better. Now hopefully that won't give me a whole lot of hassle when I'm doing the rest of the bridge, but it probably will because it can. We'll get that down there. So that's what this is all about. The drawing does show it. I believe it's on page 4 or 5. I don't remember now exactly. But it shows a little arrow that points to the support. It doesn't have any numbers on it. They're working on that, and they'll fix that on the newer edition of the book. But I wanted to make a point of pointing that out to you so you know what to do when you get to that point on yours. That's what that's for. All right, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and take these loose. And they are 2 different sizes, you'll find out when you get to them. So I assume that the bigger ones go on top. That's where I put them, that's where they'll be. The drawings kind of gave an indication that maybe they were the same size, and they're really not. So, but I think this is a very cool bridge. I like it a lot. Was talking to Al the other day, and we were talking about bridge number 5, and I told him that I really like this arched bridge, and I thought what would be really, really cool for bridge 5 would be if bridge 5 was a double arch. So it comes up, you know, makes 2 humps instead of just 1. I thought that was very cool. So he's taking that under advisement and going to be talking to the design engineers, and I'll see what they can come up with. There, all right. And off for side 2. So it'll be really, really interesting, and I messed that up big time, didn't I? I gotta get that off. I don't have it level on the bottom. I wasn't paying enough attention. Wait a minute. No, I still don't have it level. So this should be like that. I had it up a little higher. So it should be level right there with that piece right there. Take the other end here. So it's all about the little details, guys. All right, that looks a whole lot better. That's the way it should be. It should be flush on the bottom here with no ridge sticking up. I might put another pin in right there. The key on this one is going to be, what are the boaters going to look like? What are the boatmen going to see when they are in the river on their boats fishing and they look up onto the bottom of the bridge and see lousy craftsmanship? I don't want that. We want them to look up there and see it and say, wow, look at the great job they did building that bridge. That bridge is not going to come down on our heads. And then a couple more here. Felt a little loose. I missed completely. Try that again. That feels better. All right. That bottom is there. And it's pretty tight. All right. And then the tops. There we go. No, that missed completely. I'll have to look at that again. Having trouble with that one pin, getting it in place where I want it instead of where it wants to be. And that's below the... That's better. Okay, and number 2. And of course I am squeezing these sides together a little bit just to hold it in place until I get the pins in there, excuse me, the pins in there to hold it. And apparently I used some extra pins on the sides that I hadn't used before. So we'll use something different here. Oh, no. Wrong side. These smaller ones are just a little oblong. They're not quite square. So you got to be sure you got them in the right spot. I'm going to leave just a little bit of a gap right there. Wow, that broke through completely. I'm going to have to put something on there to hold that. Did it again. Not paying attention. Just got to go on that side. These pins don't have as sharp a point on them as the T-pins do, so it's not going in quite as easily, and it's not holding as well. But the key is, yeah, I got to find a way to get that to hold down. We'll let that rest for a little bit. The bottom is still good and straight. All right, we'll let that dry right over here for the moment. And then bridge 7, this is the one that really had me buffaloed for a while. I wasn't sure how it went and where it went, but this is going on the F module above the soft patches for the hidden tunnel, or the hidden train area, and that goes across, and it actually spans, if I can do this correctly. So bridge 1 comes off of the top loop over on the left-hand side and up against the F module. This will butt up against there, and we run track all the way across from one end to the other. And then, of course, 3 is already sticking. 3 goes on the other side of the mountain, and the end of it goes right to there. And we use part of the F module to cover that distance so we can have train track all across there. I didn't understand that. That was one of those things that Al told me about and helped me to understand. So let's do some bending here and get this starting to work around here, because we do have a curve. So this side, the flat side, is going to go against the F module. And this will be our trestle, frame train trestle, goes across. And Al was telling me, and I have seen this, it looks really cool when you're running 2 trains. You get them, one running on the bottom loop and one running on the top loop, running 2 at the same time in opposite directions. And when they come around and there's a train on top and a train on bottom at the same time, it looks really cool. And I agree with him that it probably looks very, very cool. So let's check this to make sure. Yeah, I thought so. It's going to be just a little back here. So we're going to center this on each end like that. So that's how that's going to go. And then this will go up against the F module. So we'll get this done. And then the next thing I'll need to do is go out there and put the bridge supports in. And then let them dry. And then when everybody's dry and happy, we can do the install on these bridges. And the only thing that will be left is bridge 5 once the engineers engineer a new bridge. So let's see, that's going to be just about right. Right there. All right, that's not working. These are not working for me. So I am going to pull that off. I'm going to kind of wipe this a little bit. Extra glue off of there.
Some straight pins.
And we're going to have to do something else, whether it be straight pins or buy some more T-pins or just wait for all this to dry and then do it again. I should have more T-pins someplace. I'm hoping I haven't left them inside the module someplace and you waste them. But anyway, that's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 are done. And we'll move forward with that. And we'll get everything else set up and then we'll do 7. I'll have to just have a little bit extra patience. All right, guys. We'll talk at you a little bit later.